What's good with y'all, man? We finna do a video on 7 New Age beliefs and how to immediately recognize them. Basically, New Age beliefs is basically this New Age pseudo spirituality, man. It's not no organized religion. It's not anything. And me personally, I'm not in an organized religion. I more so fall under the umbrella of person of the Nation of Islam. But I do believe in the Bible, and I also believe in the Quran. I believe everything in there, all the sins that it says, and all the punishments in there, and all the everything of keeping the commandments alive, and all of that. I believe all of the things that God told us. You feel me?
Give you 7 ways that you can recognize New Age spirituality in whoever you may meet and whoever you may know. Coming up. Hey, my friend, welcome back to The Beat. My name is Alan Parr. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time here, it's a pleasure. If you want a free ebook, click the link in the description box below. If you enjoy this video, consider subscribing. Hit that little bell notification so you won't miss a beat. Okay, so let's say you meet someone and on the surface, it sounds like they've got a relationship with God. They're saying all the right things, but you're really not so sure. Here are 7 things you need to look out for and pay attention to and listen for to discern whether this person is a part of a New Age movement. Number 1 is this concept of being a spiritual person. So oftentimes people who are a part of a New Age movement will say, well, you know what, I'm a very, very spiritual person. But what exactly does that mean? I'm a spiritual person, right? So
See, that's what I used to say, bro. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. I used to believe in this like a couple months ago, bro. Like, I'm a spiritual person and this and that. You feel me? But it was I would never just say I believe in God. You feel me? I would never say that. For what reason? It was like almost as an embarrassment. You feel me? And even now that I admit it, you feel me? It's like almost as if I'm coming out to believe in God, and I feel like it shouldn't be that way.
What you really want to be listening out for is not only do they believe in Jesus Christ, but more importantly, what do they believe about Jesus Christ? And that is going to tell you a whole lot about what that person actually believes. And
most of these New Age people, they don't believe in Jesus Christ. Me personally, me and the dude that I'm watching, I watch a lot of his content, but I feel like the main difference that me and him disagree on is the fact about Jesus Christ. Like, I believe Jesus Christ was a prophet. You feel me? I don't believe that he was God. I feel like there's only one God, and I feel like God wouldn't come down here as a man. You feel me? Like how he did with Moses. He sent all of his prophets were prophets. You feel me? None of them, he never sent himself. So why would he just start to do it? You feel me? I don't feel like God can do anything, but he wouldn't do anything outside of himself. Like, you feel me? God, if he wanted to, he could lie. But why would God lie? You feel me? He wouldn't do anything outside of himself. You feel me? So that's why I don't believe Jesus was, you feel me, ever a man, or God was ever a man.
And what they subscribe to. Being spiritual could refer to just about anything. As a matter of fact, along these same lines, oftentimes people of the New Age spirituality basically kind of trend towards an individual type of faith where they don't really connect with organized religion. They're not really in community and fellowship with other believers. They're not really accountable for other people. It's just more like, you know what, I've got this relationship with God. It's just between he and I, or sometimes they might even refer to God as a he. I'm coming up to that in just a second. But you want to look out for people who are pretty much detached from the church, and they just say they have their own spiritual relationship with God or a higher power, which I'm going to speak about in just a second. Now, the second one is absolutely huge, and
I believe in Allah, by the way. I believe in Allah.
That is, oftentimes people from New Age movements subscribe to what is called relative truth. And this is the idea that, you know what, what's true for me doesn't have to necessarily be true for you, because you have your truth, I have my truth.
Hey, and that's a fact, bro. That is a fact, bro. I hate people like that. I was just talking to my girlfriend about that, man, about like this New Age spirituality and how people say what's good for me isn't good for you. Like, it's not about what I say. You feel me? It's what God say. Like, I move through what God say. You feel me? A lot of people don't do that. You feel me? So they don't believe in relative, or they don't believe in objective truth. It's either the truth or it's a lie. You feel me? It's not my truth. It's not your truth. It's the truth. You feel me? Like, it's no in between, bro. It's no individuality to the truth, bro. Like it's either it's right or it's wrong. It's either it's left or it's right. It's either up or down, bro. You feel me? It's no my feelings on it. It's not your feelings. It's facts over feelings.
That person down the street has their truth, and who am I to judge whether your truth is really truth and my you know what, truth is relative. There is no such thing as absolute truth. An example of this might be, as a
I just realized I was never talking in the mic, so hopefully all of that just sounded good.
Heterosexual man, I believe that marriage should be reserved and is defined by the relationship between one man and one woman. But if you are of a new age movement, you may say, you know what, that's cool. That's your truth. That's what works for you. That's what makes you happy. But for me, my truth may be something different because it makes me happy. And as long as what I'm doing does not bring pain or hurt anyone else, then you know what? It's fine because it's my truth. You have your truth, I have my truth. And so,
you know how many nice people is in prison right now? Like that you can't go off that nice stuff, bro. Like being a nice person ain't gonna get you saved. Being a good person will, you feel me? Following the commandments of God, that's what's gonna get you in heaven, you feel me? Being nice. Nobody want a yes man. Nobody want a yes this, you feel me? No real person want a yes man, you feel me? And that's what nice is, you feel me? They're not gonna keep it real with you because they don't want to hurt your feelings, you feel me? Get that away from me.
So they basically reject any sort of absolute moral truth. It's basically the idea, I won't judge you, and so therefore you shouldn't judge me. But the Bible is very clear that as believers, we are supposed to make judgments about all sorts of different things. I actually have another video where I talk.
I'm gonna let y'all read that for a second real quick, man. So y'all know.
Should Christians judge and how you should judge appropriately? I'm gonna link that up in the description box below. Okay, the third thing that you want to look out for is how they describe God, if they even believe in God at all. And so oftentimes people from a new age movement or new age spirituality essentially will say that, you know, I know there is a higher power out there, or there's a higher force.
They're talking about the universe, bro. They don't believe in God.
Or there's something beyond me, or a higher consciousness, or whatnot. And oftentimes they refer to God in all sorts of different ways other than just simply calling him God. Matter of fact, they'll even refer to God as an it rather than a he. And basically what's happening is they know that there's something spiritual or supernatural going on, but they're very hesitant to ascribe that to God. And so they just refer to the unknown as simply a higher power. Now this next one is a very interesting one, and I'm just gonna call this one energy, vibes, etc. And so oftentimes when you meet someone who is of a new age spirituality, you'll often hear them say, hey, you know, I'm gonna send good energy your way, or I'm sending good vibes your way. And so this comes from the idea that our bodies radiate some sort of energy field, and we're able to give off a certain type or level or amount of energy. Now, this one is very, very interesting to me. I don't quite understand.
Okay, I feel like me and him disagree on that to an extent. You feel me? Like, I don't know if he's going to say it. Maybe he might say it, but we do have an amount of energy that we do have. We are an energetic field, you feel me? We're electricity, you feel me? So if I can connect with God, you feel me? Pray to God, Allah, you feel me? And send it to you. I mean, I'm sending good vibes, but let's see what he said.
Understand it, because how can you send someone good vibes? I know it sounds good, and that's one of the cliches that seem to be circulating around this new age movement, but somebody needs to explain to me, how do you physically, actually, tangibly, practically send someone good vibes? Do you send it through an email? Do you send it through a phone call? Like, and what happens when that other person receives those good vibes, right? How do you send good energy to someone? See, if you're a believer, that's very simple. You can go to God and you can pray and say, God, would you act on behalf?
Yeah. See, that's what he's talking about. He's okay. I get what he's saying now. He like, yeah, that's what you do. You pray for somebody. You feel me? You pray for them. But what he's talking about is most people, they just be like, I'm gonna just send you good vibes. How can you do that if you don't believe in don't believe in God? But if you don't know who God is, like, how are you doing that? You can't do that yourself. But most of these people, they think they are God, so they think they can just send the power. Don't get me wrong. I used to be a part of this too. I used to be a victim of this too.
of this person, and in doing so, you are interceding for that person in hopes of that God will actually act on their behalf. But if you don't believe in any of that, what does it actually mean to send someone good vibes? Once again, this is an attempt to reject the supernatural and put the power back in the hands of individuals. The fifth thing that you want to look out for when you're talking to someone to see if they're a part of New Age spirituality or not is, do they subscribe to this idea of being inclusive? And what I mean here is, oftentimes New Age, people who are a part of the New Age movement reject monotheism, basically that there is only one God or there's only one way to get to God, right? So if you hear someone saying, well, you know what, I just don't believe that there's only one way or one religion or one person you have to follow to get to God. I believe there's many ways. I believe that, Muslims can get to heaven by believing in their God. I believe Christians can get to heaven by believing in their God. I believe I can get to heaven by believing what I believe. I don't necessarily believe
there is only one way to get into heaven. You feel me? And that's following the 10 commandments. You feel me? Honoring these 10 commandments. You feel me? As long as you do that, you can get into heaven. Now, do I believe in religion? No. But do I believe those books of the Bibles and the books of the Quran are right? Yes, I definitely do. I look at them as books of life. You feel me? I don't look at them as a lifestyle. I look at them as the way of life. You feel me? Those are two different things. You feel me? Like, you can't just treat this like a lifestyle. You can't just twist the words around. The words are there for a reason. It ain't no twist. You cannot twist the words of God. You feel me? So yes, I do believe in those books, but I would not say I'm a full-on Muslim or I'm a full-on Christian because I don't believe in you feel me, that going to church part. And I guess that's bad. Maybe the more I go on to my spiritual journey, I find more truth. But as of right now, I do not believe in going into churches. I do not believe in subscribing into a religion the way he's describing it. I believe in that basically these books are put here, sent here by God on how to live life. And if you do not follow these books and if you do not follow these universal laws, then there's punishment. And that punishment is an eternal lake of fire. And every book, every Abrahamic book, from the Torah to the Bible to the Quran, they tell you how to get into heaven. You feel me? And it's up to you to follow these.
That there's really one way. Oftentimes that means that person is a part of a New Age movement. This is one of the reasons why Oprah Winfrey has caught so much slack from Christians, because she believes in this idea of multiple ways. There are multiple ways to get to God.
Only one way to get into God, and that's honoring the 10 commandments.
And this is something that the Bible consistently condemns again and again, because the Bible is very clear that there is only one way to get to heaven, and it is through the Son. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father but through me. The sixth thing that you want to look out for is if this person starts talking about something called the law of attraction, or some people refer to it as karma. But as I said in another video, we're not even using the idea of karma correctly, because karma has the idea that if you do something good or bad in this life, then when you're reincarnated in the next life, then those things will help you in terms of the state that you return to.
Karma is basically reap what you sow. Basically, what I do to you is what happens to me, and vice versa. Or yeah. Did I say that right? Yeah. Like, if I do something to you, it's gonna happen back to me. You feel me? That's basically what karma is. It's not, well, back in my lifetime when I was this and that, in this lifetime now I'm this. It's not how it works, bro. There's no such thing as reincarnation. Once you die, it's over with. You either going to hell or hell. You're dead until you wait judgment from the Most High, Allah.
But oftentimes people don't really understand the idea of karma, so they just use it and say, oh, well, you know what? The reason why you're getting good things happening to you now in this life is because you have good karma, or you did something good, and so therefore good things will happen to you. Or, you know what, man, the reason why that's happening to you now is because you did something bad 5 years ago, so now bad karma is catching up to you. And so when they start talking about, if I do good things and good things will come to me, or if I say good things, or if I believe a certain way, or if I speak certain things, self-talk, positive talk, then good things will happen to me, my friend, that is a sign that they are part of a new age movement, and you need to distance yourself if you're going to get in a relationship with them. But if you're trying to witness to them, obviously you need to continue to share the truth with them. And the last one is a very, very simple one to spot, and that's this idea of mysticism. So if you are talking to someone and they start talking about this idea of channeling, which is the idea that you can kind of call up evil, dead people or whatnot and actually have conversations with them through a medium or something like that, or tarot cards or psychics or astrology or out-of-body experiences, or they're really, really into this horoscope thing where they're looking at the different signs, that your sign versus my sign, and trying to figure out what you're going to do based on your sign. All of that is an example of new age spirituality. And once again, as I said earlier, if you're in the process where you're starting to date somebody or you're starting to have conversations, you need to pay attention to all these 7 things that I just mentioned, because on the surface, they may seem like they're a believer in Jesus Christ. They may seem like they've got this relationship with God and they're spiritual and all those things. But if you continue to dig a little bit deeper and you have discernment and you pay close attention to what they are saying, you will see that they are not a believer in Jesus Christ. They're on their way to hell, my friend. And once again, if you want to share your faith with them, please feel free to do so. But I would not engage or yoke myself together with someone who is involved in a new age movement. So hopefully this video will give you a clear idea in terms.
And that's the end of that, man. I definitely agree with, I'm going to just say everything you said. Really, the only disagreement we really have is the divinity of Jesus Christ. You feel me? Other than that, bro, I believe everything he says, bro. He says a lot of facts. You feel me? It's nothing he says too much to me that's really wrong. You feel me? Like, it's really, I mean, obviously some things he says is wrong. I believe that it's wrong. It's not his truth. It's not that. That's not, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm not, well, that's his truth. No, it's not that. It's just straight out wrong. People try to act like there's no right or wrong in life, but if that's the case, there wouldn't be consequences. If that's the case, people shouldn't be in jail right now. Why are people in jail right now? There's no right or wrong. It was his truth. You feel me? Yeah, try to use that logic in prison.